Hello and welcome to the iCreateDaily podcast. I'm Leora Alderson.
And I'm Devani Alderson. We are the mother-daughter co-founders of the iCreateDaily brand.
We are passionate about encouraging positivity, creativity, and productivity while bringing you information and resources that support your creative aspirations.
iCreateDaily is for creators in every genre of creating, from musicians to writers, crafters to inventors, bloggers to entrepreneurs. So if you're into creating anything, this podcast has something for you.
So tell us, what would support you most in your journey? You can reach us at creators@iCreateDaily.com.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. Hello and welcome to another coffee break episode on the iCreateDaily podcast, conversations for kindling creativity for anyone in pursuit of the creative life. I'm Devani.
And I'm Leora.
And today's topic is 30-day challenges, why they're important, how you can benefit from them, which is why they're important, and the 30-day challenges we will be hosting in the future, in the near future, 2020 future.
2020 coming up.
Normally the 2020 is behind us, but this time 2020 is now ahead of us.
Yes, that's right.
And we can start having 2020 vision. I've been waiting all year for 2020 jokes. So
okay. Well, here they come. Yeah, absolutely. So we have thoroughly enjoyed hosting, 6 different challenges
this
in
year.
2019, our first year to host them primarily. We did one before in 2018, but otherwise, or was it 2017 actually? And then we
did a couple throughout 2017, but it was a very beta.
Yeah.
Throughout 2017 and 2018, but it was not refined, and we refined ourselves.
Yeah, we are ever a journey in progress and ever evolving. And so, and
in the journey,
the
way becomes clear.
It is in the journey that the way becomes more clear. Absolutely. Yeah. And so we're looking at, pausing this for a moment.
All right, we are unpaused now.
Yeah, sorry.
You were talking about
Coleman was leaving, so I just wanted to say goodbye.
The iteration process of our challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are kind of hitting our stride with that. So we just finished one in September, and a lot of people, we had some great people join the challenge. Some people joined and couldn't actually continue participating. It's always a challenge, so to speak, to find the perfect time, because there isn't one for everybody. So everybody has different preferences. Some people want a January challenge, some a February challenge. But one thing we know is that the impetus of any new year carries with it its own energy. If you've read any of our articles and tuned in before, you'll know that we're really big on your new year starting wherever you are in the year now with whatever you want to pursue. Do not ever wait to begin the journey of expanding your creativity, expanding your interest, following your passion.
And we were even talking, you and I, the other day, we're talking about how sometimes for many people, maybe a birthday might be a better, quote, new year for themselves.
That's right.
However, there is the momentum of everybody deciding January 1st is the new slate.
Right.
So there's like this double momentum where you could view any important date to you as, this is where I'm going to put the energy of New Year.
Right. So that said, exactly right. That said, sort of like, while our next challenge is going to be in January, do not wait. And like right now, for instance, as we're recording this is October 3rd, 2019, which means on 2 days ago, Inktober started, which is a very popular inking kind of challenge, 30-day challenge that many people enjoy. And then following that is NaNoWriMo in November, and many people are waiting for that.
And for anybody who doesn't know, that's NaNoWriMo, National November Writer Month. NaNoWriMo, National November Writer Month. It's a thing that's been going on in November for quite a while, where people, the goal is like writing 50,000 words or finishing a novel in the month of November. And I think like 50,000 words is the goalpost for most people. Yeah.
And these are fantastic opportunities to hitchhike on the momentum of those events, and with just the fact that you're doing it in a body of people basically who are also doing it, even if it's virtual. So I mean, think of it like that you're at a concert, and if there's just one person at the concert and there's no other audience, then your claps and your appreciation is wonderful, but doesn't carry the same weight and power of an entire audience of people focused on enjoying that same thing.
Yeah.
So this is the same thing with the challenges. That's what occurs with the beginning of the year.
Because we are social people.
We are. So and the other advantage, yes, and the other advantage of the beginning of the year is that for a lot of people, it's winter and, it's time to be indoors, basically, not as much that you can do activity wise outdoors. And especially, unless you have other of course, there are always extracurricular activities, but just in general, for most people, the winter months are not as busy.
Just talk to gardeners up north.
Yeah, right. We're nature people, we're gardeners. We love being out. So that's especially applicable for us. And so therefore we want to really that's what we do. We, as a family, we spend a lot more time creating, writing, etc. During the winter months, even more so. So that's another reason we're going to do it in January. And because so here's the thing. Well, do we do an art challenge in January or a goals challenge in January or a writer's challenge in January
or a photography challenge? And then we were like, well, January is the month that we all just want to do things.
Yeah, even a fitness challenge for that matter. So then therefore what we did last year that was really successful, well received, that people loved, is a creators challenge. And that means that any genre of creativity is welcome to join, or creator, even if you haven't even started in any kind of creative pursuit but would like to, then this is for you. So and that
is writing, visual art, photography, cooking, literally whatever your creative endeavor. And this is a really good challenge. We'll link to a page so that you can learn more about it. But what these 30 days helps do, regardless of when we host them or you join them, this helps you create a rhythm and a habit. So we kind of help you kickstart a rhythm. Whether you go on to do a daily creation or an every other day creation habit, or however you choose, we're helping you in 30 days establish a rhythm with a community of people so that you can get into that flow of your own creative daily output. And by daily creative output, it doesn't necessarily mean 30 new pieces of work. If your work is huge and it takes a lot of time, it could just mean I dedicate 10, 15, 20 minutes a day to completing a creative endeavor.
Yes, absolutely. And if you're not sure even what kind of thing you want to create, you can create something different. Like some days you might write, and other days you might photograph things, and other days you might try your hand at art or sketching or whatever.
And that's a really good point, because somebody recently joined our iCreateDaily for Creators group, and her goal was to really just figure out where she wanted to go creatively, to just spend time creating as much as possible in as many mediums as she was interested in, so that she could build a body of work and figure out where to go from there.
Yeah, that's Susanna Holman, and I'm glad you mentioned her, because the other thing she's interested in doing is creating her blog or website. So that's another thing, that if you are interested in creating a blog or website, and we'll actually get to that in a minute, because that actually ties in with our goals challenge. We're going to actually host 2 challenges in January of 2020. The first one is, would you like to show this, is the Creators Challenge. And as we did with September, we will be using one of our iCreateDaily journals, art journals. It's a multimedia art journal. I think you need to hold it up a little bit more this way for those who are on video. There you go.
We're showing it on video, and we'll have links to it in the show notes if you're audio only.
Right. It's just $22, and that is the only entry fee for an entire 30 days of joining this private Facebook community, where you will have encouragement, accountability, fellowship, support, answers to questions, and that sort of thing. We will also hope to have guest creators, and certainly from the podcast that we create, with tips and information, as well as the articles. Primarily, these will be prompts, conceptual prompts for the most part, but we also sprinkle in more technical or practical prompt ideas for those who are not as comfortable with conceptual. But we highly encourage you to pursue conceptual creativity, because that is one of the things that begins to tap you in to your inner creative spirit, your inner muse. We just had an incredible interview with the artist Dana Lynn Anderson, which we will link to in this show, and will it have aired by the time this?
No,
not yet. Okay, so we'll
go back and
sorry, we'll go back. Hers will be airing in a couple weeks, actually. And wow, talk about intuitive creativity and tapping into what she calls the inner aperture to your soul. That's what the fact of creating it, in other words, isn't for the art. It is for tapping into your inner creative soul, essentially, and bringing that out. And so that's one of the
reason we're using this journal is it has the prompts in it already. And if you did our September challenge, these are different prompts.
Yes.
It's
a different
all
journal.
Of our art journals we have 4 art journals. We didn't mean to create them, but we created them. So we have 4 art journals. And
we meant to when we did, but we didn't start out saying, oh, we're going to create 4 art journals.
We made one and we were like, that was fun. Let's do another one.
Yeah.
Which is normally what happens around here. Yes. I was going to say, which was unique and new. And I was like, no, it's not. But it's new quotes. So it's a new experience. And a lot of people who have gone through our future challenges, a lot of people who've gone through our past challenges have said that it really helps them not only establish a habit and enjoy sharing their art, but it helps them discover more about who they are. And so not only you could almost say that it's like a creator challenge / self-discovery challenge. So it's really good for artists who want to get into a place of contemplation, reflection, self-reflection, self-awareness, intuitive creation. And for us, intuitive creation just really means creating from the inside out. And we're just helping catalyze that with ideas, quotes, and sparks of inspiration.
Yeah. And so, like, for instance, let's see if I can just happen to upon a shorter quote to elaborate on. So, for instance, on day 11, the quote here is, art is man's nature. Nature is God's art. And that quote is by Philip James Bailey, an English spasmodic poet. And
spasmodic. We looked up what that meant.
Is that what? Time. Yeah, because it was, and that was like, that's what it was a thing then, 1816 to 1902. But art is man's nature. Nature is God's art. So an example of how we would work with that is we would advise you to read the quote and ponder it, meditate on it, reflect on it, and just begin to then open up to what any of that might mean to you and to see what comes forth. Because now you're probing, you're inquiring, you're tuning in to not what someone tells you this means, but what does it mean to you, and what begins to manifest and to form in your mind and ideas to create. However, if it is you've done that and you're still like we've had some people who are very used to the technical kind of prompts who said, just tell me to draw an apple and I can draw an apple, but I'm not sure what to do with this.
I'm so glad you didn't say trees.
Yeah, right. Then we would also add some additional musings in case you needed some additional prompts, such as draw a scene in nature, because it starts out, and art is man's nature. Draw a man in nature. That would be another thing you could do. Nature is God's art. So what would be an example of a piece of art that reminds you of God? What could you create that would depict to you God? What could you create that would depict to you human nature? So that would be just an off the fly, because we haven't created these yet. That would be an example of some more like additional prompt support. If it is the conceptual left you stumped initially.
And that's what we offer.
But let me just finish the sentence is that we highly recommend that you first in the conceptual prompts probe your inner depths and see what comes forth before you move on and get feedback from, or you could do this and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Because it's the intuitive process that we're mostly promoting.
Yeah.
But, we're always there to support people who maybe that's totally new and you just want some guidance,
right?
At least initially.
And what's so cool about, like you've said before, is that, back to the apple or fruit, draw a bowl of fruit. Well, the thing about that is then everybody's drawing a bowl of fruit, and which this is not a criticism at all, because everything has its place. So there are absolutely places in our classes and learning spaces where that's very helpful. But in a challenge like this, then everybody would be drawing a fruit, and that there is a little bit of the inclination to compare your bowl of fruit with somebody else's. What happens though with intuitive conceptual prompts is like everybody has a different perspective. And so they bring their own perspective or their own choice of what other additional prompt to use and to focus on to what they share. So then it's all so different. And the fact of the difference is what really inspires, and makes it even more interesting for everybody.
Yeah. And then hearing the members' ponderings and philosophical musings is always very inspiring, just because it's really turning the prompt into something personal to each person. As opposed to, let's all compare who did the thing best. It's not about that. It's about establishing a rhythm of a creative life and doing creativity every day, and then just having a place to be held accountable yourself and having a community that can support you. And obviously, a lot of artists connect in these groups and challenges.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's our creative challenge. And again, writers, photographers, poets, visual artists.
Even anyone creating anything.
You want to create something?
Yeah. And so then the other, do you want to introduce that, or shall I start?
You go for it. Okay. I introduced the first one.
Okay. So,
or you, so I don't know.
Either way, we're all in this together. So the next challenge is going to be, and when I say next, it's also going to be January. So these are going to happen simultaneously. You can do one, the other, or both. But let me talk about this individually first. So the goals challenge uses our purple 90-day goals journal. And it takes you through in 30 days, even though it's a 90-day journal. This will give you a 30-day impetus, a 30-day head start, a 30-day support structure to help you get the rhythm and momentum of accountability and habit of creating daily goals, of creating quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily goals.
And that can be a challenging process for many people. We did not know that until we hosted one of our first goals challenges back in late 2017. And then we continued to refine the process to make these journals. And goals can be tricky because it's one thing to say, hey, I want to do this thing. Like an example, I want to start a website. Well, to say that is like really simple. Like, I want to start a website in the new year. But then when you really get into it, it's like, oh my gosh, where do I start? Especially today with a bajillion different tools to start a website. And then there's like picking a name for a website. How do you even do that? And so we want to do this goals challenge for people who, they have a goal that they really want to get going with first of the year. And B, so that you have a place to map out the actions, because as we say on the back, it's daily steps in the direction of your dreams is a proven path to success. And so this journal helps you write down the goals you have, the vision you have. It gives you a place to write and anchor those dreams and visions. And then it gives you daily action steps that you write down towards that. And so it doesn't matter whether your goal is, I want to create art for 30 days, whether your goal is, I want to start a website, or I want to grow my social media, or I want to blog for 30 days, or I want to start a photography company or business, or take 30 photos, or edit photos for 30 days. It gives you that structure. Or maybe your goal is simply that you want to figure out all the things you want to do and create an action plan for it. And you really just need help doing that. And that is what the 30-day goal challenge, and we wanted to host them simultaneously because some people just want the daily habit. Some people just want the daily habit of creating. Some people want to develop a structure, a business, a blog, a brand, grow their following. And that's a little bit different. It's more technical, and we can offer different kind of feedback, different kind of content, different advice, because we've been on that journey. We are on that journey, and we're a few steps ahead of many people. And so we can give you tools and guidance and daily emails and structures and this journal to help you move forward in those plans. So this is really good for people who maybe you already have a creative habit established, and now you're like, what's next? I'm creating already, but what's next?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense. And so, yeah, we will be helping.
I'm so glad because you're hosting with me.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. We will be definitely in both groups. So one of the things that we're working on the rest of this year is creating a lot of the content for these two challenges, so that when January comes, we won't then be staying up until 11, 10, midnight each night, making sure that we get the daily emails to you. Not that that's ever happened. No, it doesn't happen all the time.
We're like weeks ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. But we will be in January, but weeks ahead, because we decided we wanted to originally to host a gratitude challenge in November with our gratitude journal. It's such a wonderful time we love this. One of my favorite holidays is Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And so just the kind of setting in the rhythm, and we might still do a week-long thing. We'll see closer to time, but
the interest, let us know.
Yeah, if you're interested and would like to do some kind of a gratitude challenge, please, sorry for kicking you, Devani, under the table. Please let us know, because that will make a difference in our deciding whether or not to do that. Yeah. But yeah, so here's the thing. Like Devani said, if you're anyone who's building something, creating something, has specific goals you want to achieve besides just creating daily. If you just want to create daily, then the iArtDaily Creators Challenge is probably the best one for you. If it is that, let's say that you wanted to create daily for a specific purpose, such as growing your business, your artist portfolio, your artist following, then you might be served to, or your writing or your novel, you might be served to also get the 90-day goals journal, so you can establish your business plan and your business goal. And it would be, in this case, that it might be that to create daily was one of your goals. Mm-hmm. So, but to create daily would just be one of the goals, and that wouldn't be your all-encompassing. It might be your end goal that you want to create every day for 90 days, or that your first month of the 90-day challenge would be to create every day for 90 days in order to grow your artist portfolio. So that'd be an example of when, as a creator, you might, when I say artist portfolio too, though, please keep in mind, I'm also meaning whatever kind of creativity you're doing, whether it's food blogging, like Devani said, whether it is designing a product from scratch, creating your own journal, starting your Etsy store, Redbubble, becoming an Amazon seller, white labeling products to be made in China, whatever it might be for you, and to it as your goal, you would be working on this. If your goal includes creating daily, then that's when the two might work well together.
Mm-hmm. Totally. And what else was I going to mention? You mentioned the 30-day goals journal, creating a portfolio. Darn.
That's okay. So that happens to me often. So don't feel that.
What I was going to say is this is a 90-day journal, which means we help kick off your 30 days, and then you still have 2 extra months to carry forth, because we want to provide structure, help you out, get you going in a group. Again, it's a group of people who are also achieving goals oriented.
And that's huge. That's so huge, because if you're like many of us, it's not just like any friend on your Facebook friends group or list or whatever are necessarily interested in pursuing goals or pursuing creating daily, but you are. So it's like, well, where do you go to find and get into the flow of people and get into the momentum and the vibration of people who are doing that? And that's where these things are also incredibly helpful and beneficial. Mm-hmm. Including though, so let's say that if you decide to join the goals challenge in January, then while it's a 30-day goals challenge, we will leave that group open so that people who start out their 30 days are there to continue to support each other for the rest of the entire 90-day journal, if you're interested in doing that.
It can create a great group of people just elevating and doing attacking your goals, getting them done. And then also another benefit of joining either challenge is that we, assuming you want us to, we will share some of your work onto our page.
Yes,
we might use it on some of articles attributed to you, of course. If you're in the goals challenge and you're blogging and stuff, we could share your blog link to our page so that you can get some traffic, get some eyeballs on your work and art, creativity, writing, whatever it is. One thing we do in our creativity challenges, if your writing is really, really personal, we're not going to share that unless you want us to. So don't worry. Complete confidentiality. we only share when people want us to, and we'll mention that it's from you, and we'll tag your page and all that.
Right. So this is for, especially for creators who, anyone, I mean, like most artists want to share their work.
Yeah.
Even if you don't plan to build a business and you're just doing it for your own inspiration, to share with family and friends or whatever, it's still wonderful to share it beyond your immediate family and friends, a circle, because it could inspire others. And, that's part of the purpose in art anyway. So to inspire you, to inspire those who see it and experience it or hear it or whatever.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, talking about different kinds of creators, we have Seams Undone. I think her name is Donna.
Mm-hmm.
It has her Facebook page is Seams Undone, like SEAM, seam as in the sewing seam, but to kind of tie in with, it's just a very clever name, Seams Undone. She does quilting and very creative, personalized quilting that she does. What do you call it? Quilts by commission. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she would be an example. We have others who create, like, Crystal is actually, in fact, Crystal Jean is doing currently her own Inktober challenge.
Yeah, and she created her own prompts, and they're like frog-related prompts. They're very cute.
An entire theme of frogs for 30 days.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, there's so many things you can do. You get ideas from other creators. So that's another wonderful benefit in joining a challenge. And the other thing that we're really big on that's so important part of the process is immersing yourself in mindset, in empowering mindsets that help you to achieve what you want to achieve, as well as positivity. And so we're all about that as well. And so you'll get that infused into the challenge as well.
Yeah. And again, just to tie in, I mean, January seems like it doesn't seem that far away. Okay,
yeah,
it'll fly by. Yeah. There will be weeks where like, January, no, don't mention that yet. But January is going to come quickly, but at the same time, we still got a lot of time before January. And so committing to creating, even just if you want to share your art in the iCreateDaily for Creators group, which of course we'll link, that can be a great place. Like, start the momentum now. You don't have to wait for the new year. And sure, the holidays are busy. We're all busy these next few months, especially starting with Halloween and then getting into Thanksgiving and then the December holidays, whatever you celebrate, wherever you celebrate. Like, those are really busy times, but creating that space for yourself and your own creativity can definitely help renew you during those times.
Yeah, amazing things happen when you get in the flow of creating something daily, even if you only have 10 minutes, because that's time for nurturing your spirit. It's like a meditation as well. Yeah. So I think that's it for now. There was something else which is not coming to mind.
Another coffee break, another day.
It might be on another coffee break. So yeah, let us know if you have any questions. Creators at iCreateDaily.com.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Thanks so much for joining us for the iCreateDaily podcast. Please let us know what creatives you would like us to interview and what topics you would be interested in hearing more about.
And if you enjoyed this show, please leave a review on iTunes. We value your feedback. We read all the reviews, and it just helps us get the word out on the iCreateDaily podcast. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.